Cool, guys. So today we are going to be covering why people are moving to Miami and some of the pros. And we have Maria here with us. Maria, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. My name is Maria Villalobos. I am a real estate agent down here in Miami, Florida. And I've been in real estate for over 10 years now. I love what I do. And now with COVID, I love it even more.
Sweet. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm stoked because you know so much about this market in this area. Why people are moving to Miami? What's one of the top reasons why you think people are coming down to the area?
Well, it's not just what I think, believe me, there's been a lot of advertising. It's a lot of things converging at the same time. When you work down here in South Florida, what you have for sure in life is a mixture of cultures. So down here as a real estate agent, what I've been always being used to is to work with people from South America, because when you're Hispanic, it's part of your culture to think of the United States as your plan B, because you're used to having some type of political or economic instability in your own country. And you're afraid of inflation. So you always think of the US as a strong currency where you can just protect your estate and make sure that it's not going to suffer from inflation and any kind of stability.
Yeah.
So that's what's always been happening down here in Miami. Now with the pandemic, we've become even more popular because
Yes.
now we have a lot of people from New York, from California, from Texas, but mostly California and New York, Seattle, that are moving down here because of tax reasons and because of the pandemic. When it comes to taxes, and that is obviously, it's something that Floridians don't think about because we don't have state income tax, only federal.
What do you mean you don't think about it? You guys are just used to it?
Yeah, we're used to it. So we're like, what do you mean state tax? What do you mean city tax? What? How much money are they taking from you? I mean, when we do taxes, we only pay federal and we cry every year. Then when these people tell us, oh, but you don't pay city tax or state tax, we're like, what? So they would take more away from me. That's like all my money. So now we're kind of spoiled.
That's so funny.
When people tell us what they pay in taxes, we're like, I'm never moving away. I mean, I'm staying here until I die. No, it's funny because they say that Florida is the state, it's a state to live and it's a state to die. Because we not only don't have state taxes, income taxes, but we also don't have estate taxes. So all we pay is federal, but not state, not at the state level. We don't have estate taxes or income taxes at the state or city level. So it's definitely an income protection state when you come to it, no matter what age you're at. Obviously, if you make $50,000 or $100,000, you're not going to see a big difference. But for high earners, when you make $500,000 or $1 million or even more, you realize that you can save $200,000, $300,000 in taxes, and then you're really motivated to move down here. During the pandemic, and we had talked about this, that unfortunately COVID had been politicized in some ways. And Florida was one of those states that from the beginning didn't want to close down. We were only closed for, I would say, 3 months. And afterwards, we started slowly opening back up. And so people from other states started looking at us, going out to restaurants, going out to the malls, going out to the beach, taking the sun. And they were like, what? I'm stuck down here.
Yeah.
Schools were open, so everything was back to normal. We were open for business, and our airports and our borders were also open. So people from other states started realizing, well, why do I have to be stuck in my house when I can move to another state and have, continue with life instead of being here where everything is closed and I don't have anywhere to go. My kids don't have anywhere to go and entertain themselves. Yeah. So that motivated a lot of people, besides tax reasons, of course, because you're like, well, hold on. So I can do business. I can open up my business there and continue working from a different state. I'm going to be in a beautiful weather and I'm going to pay less taxes, maybe 14, 15, 16% less taxes. Heck yeah, I'm motivated to move down there.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I just went to Trader Joe's yesterday, and the exit, like, because there's an entrance and there's an exit, and the exit door was open, and it was a relief for over here, like, because it's just usually one entrance, one exit. You have to go through the same, but yeah, it's things are like slowly opening back up here in California, or they're pretty much back to normal. But yeah, I know you guys have been, as you were saying, things have been like that for quite a while.
I went to Orlando like a month and a half ago. First of all, Disney was packed. They didn't even have any more tickets because since they opened back, it's been packed every day. You got to do reservations with God knows how long in advance. And every restaurant we went to, whether it was $12 a plate or $80 a plate, it doesn't matter. Everywhere we went, it was like, oh, it's about an hour and a half wait. I hope you don't mind. I'm like, I might die of starvation, but okay. Do you have a bar where I can get something in the meantime? Everyone is down here. We're like, people, okay, I know we're cool, but come on, not all at the same time.
Right.
I mean, we have no inventory whatsoever. And every time you put a listing in the market, you have 8, 10, 12, 14 people calling you at the same time. And it's funny, but they're like, oh, it's just I have a client from New York who's moving down. I have a client from Seattle who's moving down. I have a client from Colombia who's moving up. I have a client from Peru who wants to move here. And so everyone's fighting for the same properties. Prices have gone up, obviously, and inventory has really shrunk because we really have a lot of people nationally from other states with higher tax brackets. And we also have people from South America who have also realized that the US has been able to overcome the pandemic a lot faster. And we have enough vaccines, not only for ourselves, but for anybody who comes. That's something else that has been happening in Florida. We have been vaccinating for free any tourist who comes into our city. There's actually vaccination spots in the airport, at the beach, which is kind of weird, but we do.
Convenient,
yeah. Like, you can take the sun, you stand up a little bit, like, okay, give me the first one, and then you lay back again, and that's it. In one of the main malls, like a couple big malls down here, also have vaccination spots. So people say, you know what? In my own country, I cannot get access, no matter how much money I have. I cannot get access to the vaccine, and I can take a plane and I can go to Florida. I can have a good time. I can finally breathe after over a year, and I can get my shot. I mean, of course, yeah. So it's like I said, it's a lot of things converging into one place, which is Miami. Something else, and I had talked to you about, we have Mayor Francis Suarez.
That's
he was
mayor of the year, or what was it, real estate
Realtor
agent
of the year.
Realtor?
He's been named by us, by the real estate community. He's been named Realtor of the Year because he really made it a point. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, good for him. Yes.
He really made it a point to advertise Miami to other states. He was really clever. He realized that other states were closed, other states where there's a lot of high earners, obviously. So he targeted basically 3 industries. He did the cryptocurrency industry, which, by the way, had their annual meeting about a month ago down here in Miami. And what was the American Airlines Arena, which is the Miami Heat Arena, and also where the biggest concerts happen down here. Now it's not the American Airlines Arena anymore. A cryptocurrency company bought the name because American Airlines had, their contract was about to expire, and this company bought the rights, and now it's the FX Arena for a cryptocurrency company.
Wow.
And so we just had one of the biggest cryptocurrency meetings down here, and it was a huge success. And Miami was packed, and obviously there were high earners. So all the best restaurants, the best nightclubs, everything was absolutely packed the whole weekend because it was a 3-day event. And he's been pushing for the city to, for the county actually, to start allowing their city employees to get some of their income in cryptocurrency. Obviously, that hasn't been very popular because it's very volatile. So they're afraid that if people start getting their income, at least part of it in cryptocurrency, it could hurt down the way. So that particular motion hasn't been very popular, but he's still pushing on it.
It's very progressive. And this is not financial advice, guys. Thanks. Okay, cool. Gotta throw that one in there. Everyone always throws it in there. It's like, not financial advice. So he's going after crypto people, and then he's pushing people.
Also, Silicon Valley from California.
Trying to take our people, huh?
Oh, yeah. No, he's not trying. He did already. I'm sorry, but he did already. Because there are companies that have been opening up down here in Miami. They have already signed big leases down here. And so sorry, but yeah, he did. He succeeded.
Yes, no, absolutely. Yeah, honestly, it's a friendlier business environment. Like this whole COVID thing has really turned things around in terms of like how people are viewing where they want to be located and do business. So
exactly.
Props to him.
Yeah. But it's not just you. It's okay. Don't feel targeted. He also targeted hedge funds and private equity firms from New York. Miami has been the Wall Street South in the country. After New York, Miami has been called the Wall Street of the South. Now, and that's been happening for years. In fact, there's a street called Brickell. People think that Brickell is a whole area. Brickell is really a street, and it's not an incorporated city. It's just a street. In the area, it's called Brickell, but it's still Miami. They have one of the largest concentrations of international banks. After New York, of course, we are the second one. And that's been going on for many years. But now with the pandemic, because New York had been closed for so long and they couldn't really do business freely, because for some types of businesses, you still need that human touch, especially when you're talking about high-end businesses. Not every client is going to want, a Zoom meeting to talk about important business. Sometimes it's nice to go to the office to talk to your representative, whether it's your attorney, your accountant, your hedge fund person. So he also targeted high earners in the hedge fund and private equity firms. And I have to say that many of them have been moving their offices down here to Miami and Palm Beach. So basically South Florida. And he succeeded again with that because and I repeat, if you make $50,000 or $100,000, it might not make a big difference for you. But when you're a high earner, and in here, it's definitely hedge fund and private equity firm executives, Silicon Valley employees, and cryptocurrency people. Now you're talking to the right people. Now you're talking to people who can save $200,000, $150,000. And now it makes sense to make Florida your primary residence. Now it makes sense to come down here and do business freely without the pandemic bothering you, because we stopped with restrictions a while ago. We are back to normal.
Right. Yeah, and God forbid another pandemic hits, but if it does, you're kind of safe. You have that peace of mind knowing how Florida is going to be handling things to a certain extent. Exactly. That's really interesting.
Yeah. No, we also have the weather. I mean, think about it. It's nice not to have to be out in the snow, because thank God we don't know what that is. It's nice to maybe go on vacation and be in the snow for a week or a couple of weeks. But when you have 3-4 months of that, it's not that much fun anymore. You can only do snow angels for so long. So it's nice to be down here. And for them, I mean, they can go to the beach in the winter because our winter is maybe 50 degrees. So the rest of us are at home while they go out on the beach and have a good time at 50 degrees.
Yeah. And one of the last things, the cost of living, could you kind of cover that?
Well, cost of living, I would have to say, for people from those states that I mentioned, it's still very low because even though prices have come up, we're still below what they're used to as far as living, for example. And I had given you examples when we talked about it. We have, I'm renting right now a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,100 square foot apartment right on the bay, direct bay view. All you see is water out the window, floor to ceiling. And we're renting it for about $3,800 per month. And I understand that for people who come from California or New York, that's still very affordable, especially considering in those buildings in the area of Brickell, downtown Edgewater, a lot of those luxury buildings, usually you already get internet, basic cable, and water on your rent. It's included in your rent because it is paid by the owner within his association payment. And you get one garage space, which for us is very normal that every time you rent or buy something, it already comes with one parking space. In some cases too. If not, you can rent a second one. But for people from New York, for example, that's a luxury because a lot of buildings don't even have one parking space in the garage already included. You got to see where you park in the street. So things that we take for granted for older people are like, wow, how nice, how cool that it's included. And we're like, yeah, of course. It's not like that where you live. So where do you park your car? So we're spoiled, unfortunately. When they come down here and they see that all the buildings have the pool and the valet and the spa and the gym and the theater room and the wine room and the entertainment room and the Tai Chi room, and they're like, wow, it has all that. We're like, yeah, of course. Again, we're spoiled.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot.
When you start listening to other people, you're like, wow, we have it good. I guess I'm never moving out.
That's cool.
This place is cooler than I thought. So we take it for granted because we've always been here.
Right. It's perspective. Yeah, because you get used to it. You get you're just like, yeah, this is how it is. You get spoiled. Yes. Hey. So if people want to be spoiled by moving to Miami, what is the best way to reach out to you and to contact you?
You can contact me on my phone, 786-285-5855, or you can also find me on Instagram. It's at Inmo Solutions Miami. I guess that would be the two best ways to contact me.
Cool. Okay. And shoot you a text, give you a DM on Instagram?
Definitely. DM on Instagram, a text or WhatsApp. WhatsApp is really useful because people from South America, that's how they communicate and that's how they are able to make international calls. So down here in Miami, we're very used to using WhatsApp for calls, for video calls, for text, for everything.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big fan of WhatsApp. WhatsApp is it's a good one.
Yeah, it's the best way to do business. If you do business with South America or with Europe, but especially with South America, it's the best way to go, especially because, and this is something that you take for granted, but it's your safety. In South America, a lot of people will not pick up the phone if they don't recognize who's calling them. And it's not because, it's going to be, somebody trying to sell me something. No, it's more like it's a personal safety because you don't know if it's someone calling you to ask you money for ransom for something. It's incredible how blessed we are to live here where we know that our safety and our families, it's a given. You don't think about it.
Yeah.
You never go back home at night thinking, I hope everything is okay. Everything is okay. You don't park somewhere and say, well, I hope when I get out, my car is still going to have the four wheels and the battery. It's going to be okay.
Right.
And it's just, when you start listening to their stories, it's like, wow, God bless America. Let me tell you.
Yeah. No, we live in a great country. This is,
And the pandemic really proved it as well, because no matter in what aisle, what side of the spectrum you are, we have been able to survive and overcome the pandemic a lot better than many other countries, even strong countries, like UK or the European Union.
Cool. Well, this is so good chatting. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for telling us all about Miami and
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Yeah.
And I love Miami. I love talking about Miami and love talking about real estate.
Let's go. Good stuff. Cool, Maria. Until next time.
Thank you.
I've got the summer